Hey folks, I'm Jaxsun. Today we're going to be talking about some of the major changes that are coming with the 9.15 content update notes for Warrior. Warrior is going to benefit a little bit from the actual reduction here, and I'll pull it up in a moment. There's a number of changes that we're seeing, specifically for the class. The majority of them are tied to the uncapping of abilities. So we're going to see Whirlwind, Cleave, Ravager, Dreadnought, and Ravager again for protection, all be removed from the 5 target hard cap that was applied at the beginning of Shadowlands. This is really encouraging, specifically for ARMS. Not that ARMS has a ton of AoE abilities as it is. It kind of gets Sweeping Strike and Whirlwind, potentially Cleave there, but still, like, that's a talent locked in at a pretty standard cooldown. So really having those area of effectability restrictions removed is going to increase it. I don't think you'll see it beat Fury and Mythic Plus, but I think ARMS overall is going to get a little bit more popular and playable here. What we're also seeing, like the Venthyr Conduit, Harrowing Punishment, cool, that effect's increased by 50%. Nobody's using this in any builds right now. I know Blizz is trying to make it a little more competitive, but that's not going to be the differentiator at this time. The other one, Impending Victory, cooldown reduced to 25 seconds from 30. Now heals you for 40% instead of 30. Okay, that's an okay buff. We can live with that a little bit if you actually want to go with that from a talent perspective. I don't know, maybe you'll see some use if you pick up a talent on that row when you're running Torghast or something, but these aren't substantial changes. The good news is that Warriors aren't seeing any real substantial nerf, and that's always the good news when we're talking about quality of life changes with a new patch. With ARMS, the Merciless Bone Grinder effect is increased by 100%. That's good news overall there. Hack and Slash for Fury increased by 50%. That's like a go-to for the Fury build. So both of those super popular. Sinful Surge, the Venthyr Rune Carving Power, extends the duration of Avatar by 2.5 seconds when Condemn is cast. That's actually a little bit encouraging, because what we're definitely seeing, and it's something that I'll say I kind of queued on a little bit when we had actually jumped into Shadowlands, is that like Venthyr's super attractive if you really enjoy that execute or condemn phase. If you like the Venthyr Covenant ability that comes with it. Pull up the Q-tip down there. However, the major challenge is that if you go with this, and you, like me, you like to play some ARMS if you're raiding or doing some PvP, like to do Fury when you're pushing Mythic Plus, or swap it over to Protection for either raiding or Mythic Plus. Actually being in the Venthyr Covenant was really hurting us. Definitely Kyrian Spear has a ton of attractiveness. Same with Night Fae and the Ancient Aftershock. Those were both abilities that were incredibly helpful, regardless of which spec you had lined up to be. Condemn actually really hurt us as a protection warrior. Ultimately, it's just consuming a bunch of rage, which ultimately impacts your survivability. So to see the Sinful Surge get a little bit tweaked here, and certainly how it integrates with Avatar, will help our survivability. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. I'm also really interested to see what being able to swap from class to class looks like or covenant to covenant looks like with all the different classes that are out there. So overall, 9.15, I'm really excited. Warrior looks like it's only getting stronger, and certainly it's one of those classes that as the expansion typically goes on and our stats go up, like we get our base haste up where we need to be, we get to start to focus on different other secondary stats, whether it's to go with a verse or a mastery build, or if you're like me on the ARM side and like to stack up with a lot of crit, it can be an absolute ton of fun. Alright folks, that's all my thoughts there today. Again, I'm Jax. If you've made it this far, punch the subscribe button, it helps me out a ton, and I'll talk to you all soon. Later.